turkeys right there. Barely got. Oh, see him? Son, wait. Oh, they're flying. Zon. See him running in the distance. Turkeys. Oh, good boy. 3 of them flew off that way. The rest of them were running. Nope, this way. Come on. That cool. Come on, Zon. A little bit out of breath. Did some running earlier. Well, as a potato would run. Oh, goofballs. Oh, mushrooms that have been out. Lots of mushrooms out. I've had quite a bit of rain, which is awesome. I mean, like this was a burn pile. Cleaned up, and look at it. Already grass just coming up. I'm surprised you don't bring the whole thing over here, you jerk. No, I think I have to rewind it, but I think I got turkeys on film just barely for you. That's cool. So, priorities. Everybody's priorities are different, right? What's your priorities? Can you recognize stuff when it's in its good stages? Or do you have to wait until it's no longer useful? Or if you don't want it to proliferate. Pretty. Already, like, less than 2 weeks of things being brown. Hey, stop being an ass. And, like, seed heads are already on stuff. Look at this. You guys know what that is? There's a couple of different plants in this category, right? See all the sticky looking stuff on it? It's silica. It's called cleavers in a lot of things. Or scouring rush, which is great for cleaning your canteen cup. You also find a different version that's in the same family. I think it's horsetail, which is more segmented. But it's got a real high silica content, which is cool for scrubbing stuff. It's like the green scratch pad of the woods. That or horsetail, either one works. Stop it, stabbing me, jerk. He's such a jerk. Clover. So yeah, that's it. Priorities, what are your priorities? Kit based or capabilities based? Kit or capability? Kit or capability? That's the question I ask. That's the thing, because the kit part is the Westerner way. Buy yourself into proficiency. You know, that whole lie. It doesn't work that way, right? Don't buy yourself into proficiency. You can buy yourself into stopgaps, but that's not capability. So capability over kit. Capability over kit. That's the thing. That should be the focus. Capability. Some of the the more capable drills that people neglect are literally the ones that give you the most capability, like reloading from multiple positions, like shooting from multiple positions, using cover from multiple positions, shooting from multiple sides. These are all things that can give you capability, right? Seeing what your wobble zone is, seeing how far you can use your system. Look how pretty that is. Isn't that pretty? Oh, come on, really? Camera hog, Camus. Cool. So, like, you know, a lot of people look at the way I film on the ground a lot, and part of it is, you know, it's a time thing. Well, it is a time thing. It's not really, that's a main thing for me. The other one is, by doing this, it keeps it from stopping so you can get the audio, right? And not have to refresh your phone, hopefully, if that's a method, or if you're driving and listening. That's another one. And I only do things in one take. I don't do any editing, right? So I'm allowed to misspeak because I don't edit. It's not my thing. Wild spinach. So the other one is to help condition you cement dwellers to another system. Yeah. If you're under cement, that is a monoculture of death. Hey, if your view would be just cement, that is a monoculture of death on multiple levels. If you've ever been in a city, once the cleanup crews stop going or the power's out, it goes into chaos and a cesspool, worse of a cesspool. Zon, this way. He wants to go chase a turkey. Worse of a cesspool than it is normally, because the cleanup crews aren't going through at 2 or 3, getting the human feces off the concrete. The diversity that is present, the value that's present. I mean, we have, you know, less than 2 weeks, we're already getting seed heads coming up. The amount of food that's actually here. It is quite amazing. It is quite a complex system. And so part of that is to calibrate and to attune your listening so it can be active listening. I say things in multiple layers and repeat it using VARC and hit it from different angles in different ways, and multiple layers upon layers, precepts upon precepts. That is intentional. It is not perfect, but it is intentional for sure. And so your observational skills, your ability to see what has happened before, to be able to see and process what's going on now, it is a training thing that happens with reps and sets, and you are far removed from your natural state. Just listening to this or watching this is removing the human being from the human condition based off of what the designer intended. And even me carrying this abomination around, trying to use this weapon of warfare to help you battle your own internal struggles with the warfare for your mind, it has its detractions. So the cost-benefit analysis is always a consistent one. I have to do things in a certain fashion, whether it be on different channels or having it at different levels, or a certain level of priority on quality changes so that I can be clear enough and be attuned enough to create something that is worthwhile, not something that's just to drone out. Because I'm not by trade an entertainer. By trade I am a trainer, which is quite different. It's quite different. I'm not a businessman. I'm not wired as an entrepreneur. So I look at function from a tactical perspective consistently. Hey, do-ga-do. This way. So that is the ideas of, and the reasoning why things are done the way they're done. I mix it up when I can. Hey! But I'm also simultaneously working on my own skills. Because if I didn't task stack, I wouldn't get as much stuff done as I've been getting done. I have to task stack. And it's an example that some of you may find a lot of benefit from, is if you start to task stack yourself by if you're going to listen to something, have that be something that's going to move you forward, not backwards. Have that be something that is going to be productive for you and not counterproductive. That's the idea. It's not, there can be some motivation, I guess, but cheerleading is not my profession. I'm not a cheerleader or a babysitter because I am not a 13-year-old girl or a man wearing a man suit who's a 13-year-old girl, because that is something that I have found across the interwebs. Oh, you can't say this. You can't do that. Oh, you're gonna make people mad. So what? So what? Who cares? Am I holding true to my values? Like I said before, I would rather try to have conversation with 30 adults than 30,000 babies. I love my grandkids and even the new baby ones. But until they become basically 5 years old, not really my lane. Not really my lane. You know, I'm not wired that way. Women are wired that way, and they need to be. Right? Men do men things. I looked at some chess gear thing the last time I got on the internet. I was trying to research something, and it was like this anamorphic, highly confused, effeminate pronoun, whatever. I have no idea what. I can't keep up with that politically correct crap. Doing tactical gear, and they go, that's like the weirdest abomination ever. And something that I've noticed, and I don't know if this is a sign thing. I've heard this before with symbology, with the sign of the serpent. Oh, baby. Little tiny tracks. something must have dropped a little fawn. Hey, see this in rock and roll circles, and they do that, that party on sign, or devil's horns, or stick their tongue out. That was the other one. They stick their tongue out like a serpent. It's interesting because I've seen that prevalent across multiple cultures when sin is around. I'm not one of those people that freaks out about stuff, but it's just an observation. I've seen it. It's like cross-cultural communication demonically. There's many forms. That's just an example. Does that mean that everyone sticks their tongue out as this or that? No. But I find that interesting. Same with obelisks and a bunch of other stuff. And we could go off on tangents about that. But had I not been separated from that stuff, it's just what people do. It's the same thing with like some of the pagan holidays that people practice. When you're caught up in it and it's your norm, and you think about old Babylonian cultures or whatnot, and how they, threw babies into sacrifices for Moloch and all that, or Baal, which just means gods, but pretty. Is that any different than now? Was it? I think Rex was saying it was like 3,000 a day. Like, I don't know the statistics, right? I just know it's only a matter of time till judgment comes, because shedding innocent blood is not something that can be ignored by the Creator for very long. I am sure the people, for us in our Western culture, it's like, why would you ever do that? The big ceremony and throw a baby in the fire. When doing it in lab coats is any different. It's become, it's okay because that bloodletting's being carried on by our high priest doctors or high priest generals, or, you know what I mean? That makes it sanctioned. It's state sanctioned, so that means it's okay. Well, I'm sure the Aztecs had state sanctioned, human sacrifices, right? When you start looking at it pragmatically, we think from our own bias that we're super smart and, I would never do that. What's going on right now? It's just not as open. You don't see it, right? You don't see it the same. So get outside to get away from the noise, to find a norm that is consistent with your moral compass. Carry rucksacks, not feelings bags. Shalom.